always up on time, down on my luck. Got a brand new payment on an old, worn out truck. Papa told me back when I was 9, someday this farm, it'll be all mine. Now I walk these woods with kids of my own. It's been 12 years since Daddy done.
And we're back to the Home of the Average Joe podcast. And guys, if you wouldn't know it, we are already in week 2 of Ohio turkey season. And week 2 of Ohio turkey season, turkeys 2, hunting RX 0.
Yep.
John is shaking his head. So with that being said, so I guess let's start with, you didn't go opening weekend, right?
No.
Yeah, so opening weekend.
Actually, yeah, I did. I went Saturday.
Okay.
For a couple hours.
All right. What'd you see opening weekend?
It was 2 that were with hens.
With hens. But they were pretty tight-lipped, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we had opening weekend was a tale of 2 different days, right? So Saturday was 71 and mosquitoes. And then Sunday was 36 degrees and the birds were fired up because of the fact that it was super chilly. So then fast forward, I mean, like we had them talking, didn't really get them coming in, but that leads us to today. And today is as far as this weekend goes. So you went out yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. And how many did you see yesterday?
I seen 2 hens and heard 1 gobbler.
And you tried to make a play?
I tried. I wasn't successful.
Right, but it was fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, so Hunter and I, yesterday, with it being, I think yesterday was like 39 when we left home at 5:30. And by the time we got to the woods, the wind was a-blowing, and it was cold. It was brittle. It was more of like a fall morning than it was a spring morning. We definitely did not have the right attire on for that. So at like 9:00, we're like, oh, hey, we're gonna get up, we're gonna move, and we're gonna make a change on that stuff to see what's going on. Oh, that's funny. So we got up to the truck, but we didn't even see, that one of the cameras had went off. So we're sitting there kind of just warming back up quick and making a move to where we were going to go. And when we made a move, quick, lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, the camera goes off. So I'm like, oh crap, Hunter, we need to get our stuff together because this bird is V-lining straight for the area that we're going. So then we quick unloaded, got everything kind of packed up and ran up to the area. And I sent you the video. I mean, like that video was the ending after the couple sequences before it, but that anodized aluminum call from Full Clutch that we have had him fired up. Like, dude, it sounded like he was right behind us. Mr. Doug Light, what is happening? We're just telling stories, buddy. Telling stories. I know you got plenty to tell. Maybe we'll let you tell some on here. But no, that anodized aluminum had him fired up. I mean, like, with no mics, like that was literally just that Insta360 camera. How close did it sound like he was?
Yeah, I mean, he sounded right on top of you.
Yeah, and then lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, a coyote or a fox, I'm going to assume, I don't know what else would take a rabbit, because this rabbit was squawking all the way through the woods with like a distressed rabbit call. So I'm assuming something kind of let it have it. So I'm not sure exactly what. And that was all she wrote on that. Yeah, Doug, definitely for sure. I've had a lot of good luck. So then that fast forward to today. Did you go today?
No, I didn't go today.
Okay, so Hunter and I got up today. There's frost on the freaking truck. So it was even colder today. So I had told him to dress warmer, dress accordingly, right? And we went to where kind of everything unfolded yesterday and we couldn't pull him across the creek once everything was said and done. And we get back in there and in the morning, they're right back up on top of that ridge in that field and they wouldn't come across the creek. and they just wouldn't come. They were, it sounded like they were maybe with what you talked about really the other day. Jimmy, what's happening where you had that gobbler with hens where he would respond to you, but he wasn't leaving her? And that's kind of what happened to us this morning. But I'm like, you know what, dude? We got nothing to lose. It's 10 o'clock. Let's take a walk. We literally took a walk, and I haven't even had a chance to tell you this story. We got down in there at 10:15. All right, so before I finish this story, Jimmy and Chris, what is happening? So we got down in there at 10:15, and literally I heard, and I'm like, I looked at Hunter, and like we're just walking down the middle of this logging road. And I mean, it wasn't close to us. It was up that ridge again, back on that field where we heard him this morning, but we were a little way down the ridge. And I look at Hunter and I'm like, well, I don't know how close he is, and I don't know how much time we're going to have. So we're not setting up the decoys. We're just going to find a tree, lean against it, get your pew pew set up, and let's call and see what happens. We call, he responds. We call, he responds. We call, and then we let him respond again, and then we call. We went through this literally for an hour and a half of him back and forth. And then all of a sudden, you see him pop up over the creek bank, and you can just see his head. So he hasn't come completely out of the creek bank yet. And you can see him strutting, and there's trees in the way. You couldn't get a shot at him, but you could see him strutting. I'm like, Hunter, he's right there. Hunter, he's right there. And so I'm just like, I'm kind of like laying down at this point, just hitting that full clutch call, just soft purrs. And he is just like firing off, like as soon as like, and no gaps in between, no nothing. And then like he pops up on the logging road, but he came out to our right, which as a right-handed shooter is the worst place that he could have came out because there's trees in the way. So we kind of made it that way. And he's sitting there full strut and just lets it bellow 15 yards from us, sitting there. Nothing we can do about it. He's looking at us. He pops down in the thing again. And I'm like, Hunter, we got to go. So I let him get back down in there. I hit it again. And then he starts sounding back off. I hit it again. Well, then I started cutting him off because I got a tip from Nathan yesterday. He said, you're going to have, if you get a bird that responds, especially this time of year, he's typically a harvestable bird. But you're going to have to do one of two things. You're either going to have to shut up and let him seek you, or you're going to have to cut him off and piss him off as far as his voice and see how fired up he gets. Well, I literally kept cutting him off, and he kept just, and kept going and going and going and going. And it sounded like he was working his way back up the same creek bank. So I told Hunter, like, cause I couldn't see him yet, told Hunter to kind of move so that way he could angle his body that way. And Hunter said that when he put the gun barrel in the air to move over and take it off the rest so we could have that angle, he said he seen him. And then all of a sudden that bird went tight-lipped, wouldn't respond, but literally for an hour and a half, it was all like back and forth to the point that like we had cameras running so long that it killed both the cameras because like the batteries were just running on record. But it was probably one of the coolest experiences to hear them spitting and drumming and be 15 yards and then like pop out to know that you pulled them across that whole thing to get them in there. So it was a fail in the aspect that we didn't get a harvest, but looking over at Hunter, seeing him shake as he's hearing that gobbler just kind of sound off. And like, because when he's sounding off, even in front of us, he's still only like that logging road is probably only 15 yards across from us. So, and then it drops down a little bit. And so, I mean, maybe max at 20 yards, but like he was talking, he's like, you know, Dad, we may not have got it done, but that is one of the coolest experiences. He said, like, how would you think that chalks up to deer hunting? And so like, I was like, huh, Richard, what's going on? Hey, Katie, how are you? Thank you for tagging Mr. Gavin. But yeah, so it, as far as getting you fired up for turkey season, it definitely left a taste in our mouth that like, holy crap, like deer don't respond in that way, right? Like you may get them grunting and you may get them doing that, but like they're not going to work a sequence for an hour and a half and then like, not see anything, work back down in the bank, and then come back typically like not unless they smell something, right? Like, and not unless it's the right time of year for a deer. Like, and that's the first time turkey hunting that I've ever experienced that. And now, granted, it was only one bird. I don't even know how big it was. It could have been a jake. I've seen a little bit of like puff hanging off, but couldn't tell how big a length. But it was just cool to have them fired up. What's up, Jason? To have them fired up and like, then look at him and be like, well, we gave it, but buddy, I gave it everything I had. Like I'm laying on the ground on my back, like trying to make this call sound, whatever. Like that's all you got. Bob Carey, what's happening? We got the whole motley crew on here, guys. And if you are just joining, we're just talking turkey stories from the first 2 weeks. And hopefully, we will have a surprise for you next weekend. And it may be a change of location just for us for the weekend, but we may have a surprise that way and see what happens. But yeah, I think that we're going to have a lot of fun. Oh, here you go. Here's the debate. I'd take a day in the turkey woods over a day in the deer woods every day.
No.
Doug Light, John, I
No.
see. I knew this debate would come. John, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm not a turkey hunter, I guess. Like, I know a lot of guys like that. There's nothing wrong with it. But for me, I don't know. Doug's been successful in both, so he would know better than I would. But I don't know. There's just something about deer hunting that turkey hunting just doesn't. It just doesn't do it for me like the way deer hunting does. The deer that I seen last year, right? Like, we've talked about it a little bit, right? But like seeing a deer of that caliber on the hoof, and then like I just don't see there being a turkey that's ever gonna get me to like where that deer. That deer has me so twisted up right now. Like all I can think about is that deer, and to the point where like I've put my vacation in for this year around the same time frame that I seen him, and I know exactly where I'm gonna go. I know I don't know. I've never seen a turkey that's gotten me that twisted up like that, but this deer's got me
okay, but
on
so
another level.
But so let me ask you this. So because we all talked about it. Like we really didn't start turkey hunting till I think it was the second year that we moved here. And I think we went once or twice that spring season. And then last year we went, a couple more times. But this year is the first year that like we adequately opening day, we were out, bolt day, you know what I mean? This is the first year that I'll call it go all in for turkey season. And going all in, I'm going to tell you that like even without a harvest, having that response and knowing that you're controlling what they're coming in on.
Oh, it's definitely different. It's
I
like
can't
a
say
poor man's elk hunt, basically, right?
well, yes, but like think about this though. Like what control other than if you have a grunt call or whatever, and you a snort wheeze or whatever, and you rattle them in. Other than that, like in the deer woods, other than putting yourself in the right place at the right time, which you still have to do in the turkey woods, you have no control over talking to them. And better yet, 90% of the time, when you're rattling or grunting, you're doing it blind. You're doing it with no response, right? And I'm going to say no response because that may be what ultimately got them interested, right? And moved them in your direction. But you're not like legitimately, and again, no, this is not a Primo's promotion. We are not speaking the language with them like we are with this turkey stuff. And so Jason, yeah, buddy. So before I go any further, Jason, you and your son, Matt, laid down some hammers and you guys doubled up on some birds yesterday and definitely came out a little heavier there, boys. We definitely are proud of you. Storm and Norman Custom Calls said that he's with Doug Light 100%. It's turkey. But I will tell you, so coming from that guy, so that guy makes some great calls over there as well. And he's been in the turkey woods a lot and knows a lot of just in general good information. He's like, Doug, like when you go to turkey hunting, like they just got a lot of knowledge. and he has put a hurting on some birds. I think he's tagged out. So Troy, are you tagged out in Illinois and just got Kansas left? Is that what I remembered seeing? I mean, I've tried to follow along, but you guys have had a lot of success over there as well. Okay, so here you go. Tony or Tori, I don't know. Tony's at a birthday party. Yeah, Tony's at a birthday party. Storm and Norman. So I'm gonna assume it's Troy. So he's like, think about this: how rare it is to harvest a 25-pound bird with a 12-inch beard and 1.5-inch spurs is the same as a 200-inch deer. Killing a 2-year-old turkey is like an 8.120. Just put it in perspective. So I guess, yeah. So Jim Kaufman, what's happening, my friend? So think about that. He does bring up a pretty good point. Like, and again, I haven't even harvested one yet, but after this morning, like, and I didn't even have the pew-pew in my hand. It was all hunter.
Yeah.
Like, all I had was filming equipment.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with it, but there's just something that, and again, everyone's different. Right? Like, I know guys that are like strictly like upland birds, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
no.
They don't, you know what I mean? Like,
there's guys that are strictly duck hunters.
Duck hunters only, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not downplaying turkey hunting, but like for me personally, deer hunting will get me more fired up than turkey hunting. Now, some of these guys have been in some woods a lot different, right? Like, most of the woods that I hunt is up until this year, right? Like, majority of them have been better deer woods than turkey woods, right?
So with that being said, the woods that we have, we're talking about blind deer hunting, essentially blind calling, which is really up until this year for you. Is that really what you would say it is for turkey? Because really the turkey were pretty rare out there where we were. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't necessarily that we knew they were there. It was just more so like, hey, we seen them every now and then. We know that they existed there at some point in time.
I'll put it this way. Like, when I heard that turkey gobble yesterday, right? Like, it got my blood going. Don't get me wrong. But I can think of a morning hunt, deer hunting, and I heard a buck grunt in the woods, and it got me going way more than that turkey gobbling did. And again, like, it's each their own, right? Like, I mean, I'm not.
That's what Doug just said.
Yeah, like, it's not something that, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm gonna turkey hunt. I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? But like, I know guys that they live for turkey season, and like deer season's kind of like secondhand to, you know, turkey hunting, right? But like, where I'm at personally, right? Like, it's my focus is deer hunting for the most part, right? Like, and I know guys that said they wish that if they gobbled all year. I was having a conversation Thursday with a guy and Friday, and he was like, if they'd gobble all year round, he was like, I'd never deer hunt. He was like, I would turkey hunt until the end.
Spring and fall.
Yeah. He was like, if they would gobble all year round, he was like, I would not ever deer hunt. And I mean, I get that, right? And I'm not knocking it by any means, right? Like, I think turkey hunting is very fun. I can see where it is appealing to a lot of folks, especially people down south too. Because like, I think like the further south you get, right, like it grows in popularity the further south you get, because the deer aren't as big as like the deer that we have around here too, which I do think plays a factor in it. But like, when you think about like Doug, right, like he's land of the giants and he's got good birds there, right? He's traveling to do both. So like, you're the Doug. Yeah. I mean, Doug's always putting stuff down. I mean, I've gathered that already, right? Like, I don't have a quarter of the knowledge that Doug has, but like, for me personally, I just find more enjoyment in deer hunting than I do turkey hunting.
Yeah.
And
so again, I only continued to push back because I think it's hilarious that like we jokingly said that once it got to turkey season, that this was going to be a debate, especially when it comes to just in general, right? Because there are people that like Troy and Doug that are 100% all in turkey. That's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be other people that all in deer.
Yeah.
That's their bread and butter. But then it's funny to hear the stories that either took you either way. So like Doug's story right now is he's trying to get a Grand Slam. And I think the only thing he has left is the Rio, which I believe is only in Florida or somewhere, maybe even Texas or Mexico.
Too,
but those birds are.
I think Texas has Osceolas and Rios, I think.
I gotcha.
I mean, it would be cool. It would be cool to be able to do the slam, which I do think that is something that is appealing from a turkey side, right? Like, you don't have that from, like, a deer perspective, right? Like, getting a blacktail, a mule deer, and a whitetail, right? Like, I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's, like, a slam for those like that, but, I mean, it would be cool. It'd be cool to be able to say, and, like, don't get me wrong, like, I mean, that bird had me fired up when it started gobbling, but, like, to put that into perspective, it just doesn't do the same. It still gets me going. Like, I still enjoy it, but it's just not. Is not as much. Like, I'm not taking a week or 2 weeks off. And I mean, you remember at my old job, I mean, I took the whole month of November off the deer hunt, right? Like, I'm not doing that for turkey hunting. Like, it doesn't get me fired up like that.
Doug says he has Rios and Osceola is what he has left. So he's Easterns and Mirams, whatever. Somebody correct me, because yes, words are tough. As my wife's sitting there looking at me like, did he really just try to pronounce it? Just kidding. So, but yeah, I know he's got those two, as they just got back from Nebraska, putting down some birds in the snow out there in freaking April. And okay, so Troy from Storm and Norman says Texas has Rio, Florida only has Osceola.
There it is.
So that's maybe Osceola. So Troy, correct me, is Osceola the one that is more of like, what are those birds called?
Like a peacock.
It's
like a blue.
Yeah, like a blue. Yeah. So Troy, correct me if that's the right there. See, obviously I have not read up on my Grand Slam and all the difference of turkeys because I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, I had that invite to go to South Dakota to hunt birds, right? And I didn't do it. But if that would have been an invite to go to Kansas to whitetail hunt, or, I would have probably taken. I would have done it. I would have taken off and went and done it.
Hey, Tony goes, my sister found me. We're good.
Okay.
Tony, I'm glad you have been found. We know you get mixed up with kids, so we're glad she could sort you out of the bunch.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It just, again, it's one of those things. It's just like, right, the people that say, hunting during the rut and hunting like early season when they're not pressured, right? There's so many different debates and conversations, but it's all exactly what Doug said, is whatever gets you in the woods and whatever allows you to have fun. Like, no, those are isolated in Yucatan. All right. Well, see, Troy, I know I could count on you to correct me on what, because of the fact that you have definitely a lot of turkey knowledge, my friend. You and Doug are Doug and Nathan. I think the three of them, probably between the amount of turkeys that I see them boys put down, it's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Doug today, him and I were talking. So, and Doug, this is a kudos to you. So he has put 3 birds down himself and then called in 2 more for his nephew. So he's all in all called in 5 total birds, which is, I mean, pretty good.
Yeah, and it could also be just like my level of experience with turkey hunting too, right? Like, the more you get into it, I'm sure, like, I mean, like you were talking about, like Nathan having all those, like, I mean, just talking to him when we were at the show, right? Like, some of these guys have so much knowledge about turkey hunting that, like, I haven't even scratched the surface on, right? Like, and for me, like, if I had that level where, you could almost outsmart the bird or, like, know what to do with it, like, that could change a lot of, like, my view on turkey hunting.
Oh, for sure. Tony goes, I could have blasted a rooster yesterday. Would have ate, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Shoot. No, so I don't know, man. So what is it? The 10th? The 10th is when it opens up all day for us here? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Because roughly 10 days in. So I know it's 10 days into season, but I don't remember what the day is. So the crazy part is, and I don't know how your cameras have been for turkeys where you've been seeing these gobblers, but like where we had seen them, it seems like at night they're more on the property that we can hunt, and then the morning, which is what we can currently hunt, they're more on the neighboring properties. So I think that is definitely a game changer. I don't think T-Bone goes, time to take off work, boys.
There you go.
T-Bone's in.
He is. I'm still trying to get my first bird too, right? Like,
Yeah.
again, like once you lay down that first bird, it could change a lot of your, mindset towards it too. So like, I'm not the one size fits all. For me, deer season just does something different.
Doug goes, I could never outsmart a turkey, just lucky enough to be in the right spot at the right time. I'm going to call BS on that.
Yeah, I was going to say
There's
track
record with a lot of knowledge on that one. Jimmy says, I just got one on cam for the first time in a week. So that's another conversation. So we use cameras for deer hunting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many people that are on here use cameras to scout turkeys? And this is where it would be nice to have a Tacticam person to see how many people they talk to that scout turkeys. But it's just you and I. So we don't work for Tacticam, so we can't. But I don't know. So I mean, do you think there's a benefit to scouting turkeys in that sense? Do you think they're patternable like a deer in that aspect?
I mean, I don't know. To me, when I think about, and again, like I'll revert to the experts in the chat, but for me, I feel like a bird is, in particular, like a tom is just like a buck and rut, right? Like you're not gonna really know where he's going or what he's doing. Like you may know where he like beds or roost at, but to me, like he's constantly moving around trying to like just locate hens, just like a buck does. Except for my understanding on what I've read about turkeys, they don't have like a lockdown. Like they're a couple hours and then they're done, right? Like bucks will stay the night type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like turkeys are, they're running around and, just trying to find as many as they can, right? Like
yeah.
bucks are, 2, 3 like weekend warriors with them. And, the birds are a little more free spirited,
Yeah. Living on edge.
I mean, living on something. We're live. I can't really go too much into
I know.
yeah.
So Jimmy says he does use cameras and it's frustrating, which we talk about that all the time about how frustrating it is with deer hunting, even with cameras, right? Because like you place the camera and then like you're at work and it goes off and you should have been there. Old T-Bone says no cameras for turkey, just wing it. And then Troy goes, Doug is legit. Don't let him fool you. Just humble because that's what turkey hunting does to you.
Yeah.
So really the reality is it's so funny because like they talk about turkeys and the size of their brain, right? And
they're using all of it to survive.
No, for sure. But they say they have this pea-sized brain, but then the reality is like all of us hunters that get outsmarted by this pea-sized brain. And it's like, you talk about the intelligence behind that bird. And when I say intelligence, like when they sense fear though, they ain't no dummy.
No.
Like they'll just tuck and go, or like today, like he was fired up cutting me, like, cause I was cutting him off. Then he was trying to cut me off. And then as soon as and again, like we were covered up pretty good. So the only thing he would have seen is just caught movement.
Yeah.
Not even like we weren't on, Hunter's face was covered up and that was enough for him. And that was all he wrote.
Yeah.
Jimmy goes, I would say if you got one in the evening, you know where he's going to roost somewhere close and you can set up them a little easier. T-Bone goes, about done with cameras for deer. I watched most of the bucks walk right around them.
So you don't have to worry about that with turkeys. They're too stupid to do that.
What, walk around the cameras? Well, I don't know. They seem to stay off the cameras. And then T-Bone goes, including the one I thwacked.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
That buck that I saw last year when we were hunting, and I reached out to Tony because I told him, I was like, "Dude, this is a bigger deer than what I went in after," and he had to pull it up, but, like, literally that deer stopped and, like, went around the camera. If he'd have went down that trail, I'd have had him at 10 yards, but he specifically cut around the camera, which put him where I couldn't shoot him.
I got you.
So
That's crazy. So Doug goes, turkeys can get locked up with hens like deer, except with turkeys, it could be 6, 7, or more hens, unlike a single doe. Same scenario, both are hard to break from the girls, or their
Yeah.
girls.
That's like that opening day when I was out there, I seen 2 and they both had hens with them, and they were not, I mean, they did not leave those hens.
Jacob Vance goes, pressure is staring at the judge facing 20, son.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming there's
a joke.
I was going to
There's
say,
a story behind that.
and then old T-Bone goes 100% with a skull face. So there's gotta be something behind that because of the fact that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a story behind
That's
that one.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that when we're off the camera, but that was a good one. That was a good one.
That's
That
one.
and, Blake Maislin's son, those are 2 really good stories that we've had.
Stories, but that are not air appropriate.
No, God, no.
All right, I was waiting. Normally T-Bone will allude to some hints, but he did not.
No, he's not going to.
I got you.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it afterwards. It was a good one.
I got you. All right. So with that being said, I mean, so what did we say? We go through the end of May, right? May 20, I think it's May 24th, May 25th, something like that.
25th.
Yeah. So, and honestly, 4-4-4.4444. That's my hint. I'm assuming he's trying to.
Well, I'll tell you.
I know, but I'm assuming I say T-Bone always gives me hints, so he's. But no, so with that being said, I mean, so the reality is like when you get the opportunity to switch to all day hunting turkey, are you going to take that opportunity?
No, I'm not sitting out there all day for a turkey.
Well, no. Like you can hunt morning and evening. Are you going to do a double sit like you would do for a deer where you'll go morning and then maybe.
Well, it is deer hunting, I'd sit all day.
Okay, I get that, but I'm saying, will you do a morning and evening sit for a turkey, or are you just basically going to be one and done, whether it be morning or evening? And
I'll go in the morning and probably go in the evening there, but I'm not sitting out there all day.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side, T-Bone. He says peace.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's something that, again, that's what. Whatever you guys got going on with this secret society stuff, you got John giggling on camera and his face turning red. I mean, people are going to start to wonder here as to what's going on.
this is something else.
Are you going to sit all day though? Are you talking to me, T-Bone? Because if you're talking to me, there ain't no way, no offense, I'm sitting all day with my 11-year-old son because he will not last all day. Right now, I mean, you figure you're doing pretty good from, I mean, we get 6 something. I mean, you're before 6:30, so between 6:10 and 6:30.
There's 6 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a long day for a kid as far as that goes. Doug goes, it's not nice to keep secrets, LOL. Doug, he'll have to call you with that one. All right, Jimmy. I hope you have a good night at work, buddy. Don't have too much fun. We appreciate you tuning in, buddy. No, I don't know. So it'll be curious to see though, because like I know Ohio is one of the few states like, so you deal with Kentucky a lot. Is Kentucky a state that you can hunt evenings with turkey? Oh, T-Bone goes, talking about deer hunting. Are you really going to sit all day?
Absolutely.
There you go, T-Bone. You heard it from him. He says absolutely. And be ready for a text. The Blue Collar Boy says yes, they're sitting all day. Now, so that's the one thing I will tell you. So, you know, like we talk about weather impacting deer hunting, right? So like weather as far as turkey hunting, Nathan and Doug have told me more stories. He says bet.
All right.
Oh, T-Bone, he's been on this bet thing lately, so I mean, you may want to take him up on that.
We got a bet going on.
I got you. So Nathan and Doug, as far as that goes, God bless it, you guys got the bet going on. So I'm trying to
We've
figure.
got a couple bets going on, him and I do. So
I got you.
yeah.
You got that side hustle.
No, I lost the last one, so I got at least one going with him right now.
I got
Usually
you.
sports related that me and him bet on, but I'm on a hot streak of proving Tony wrong, so I'm going to keep that streak alive.
I remember the last one from last hunting season.
Yeah, there was a couple actually.
I was only talking about the Kentucky one and what the tag pricing was.
Oh yeah, he got proven wrong there, and then there was one he was right on. It was the last one he was right on between me and him.
I got you. Well, all right, where did I go with that? Come on, let's see. Yeah, I was going somewhere with that. Nathan says, "What's up?" I didn't even see him say what's up. I'm assuming that's Nathan because Doug's on here and then Blue Collar Boys, so that's got to be Nathan. But yeah, so we got roughly 3.5 weeks to get it done. What? Huh? Shoot. So we got roughly 3 weeks to get it done. So we'll see how many of us can get the job done. Oh, you were talking about the weather. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Doug. Weather. I got sidetracked because we were talking about these bets. So the weather. So Nathan and Doug, as far as turkey hunting in the rain, they have said that the birds, weather related, like in the rain, seem to react just as well, if not better, in the rain. Have had better luck. Like I think the last bird that he shot in Illinois, it was absolutely downpouring in the morning. He went back, dried out, and it was still spitting, then went back out and ended up taking that last bird in Illinois. And I think that's the crazy part because, like, deer hunting, typically weather slows them one way or the other, right? Like you try to catch them before movements as far as weather relation. So, I mean, that's not always the case. I mean, obviously, if it's during the rut, that can change, but like they for the most part, like if you have a front coming through, like that's the big thing with deer. Like you try to catch them before the front, after the front, to whereas it seems like with turkey, and again, Doug, Nathan, Troy, y'all can tell me I'm crazy, but from what you guys have told me for stories, because again, I have no facts to back it up because I have no turkeys on the ground. It seems like you boys seem to have really, really good luck as far as rain and turkey hunting, which is pretty crazy. But we may get to test that theory because I think it's supposed to rain all week and then maybe a little bit into the weekend. So we may get to test that theory this weekend, which it maybe where a blind plays out or something along those lines, I guess.
Well, your audible may change that.
Well, yeah, could, but
yeah.
Troy says, do not, in all capitals, sit on the couch during the rain. Love hunting birds in the rain because they are typically in the field. Easier to find and work.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so Troy had said, do not sit on the couch during the rain. And again, like I said, I'm assuming it's Nathan because Doug's on here as well. Under the Blue Collar Boys hunt, saying love hunting birds in the rain because of finding them in the field and easier to work. So are they typically, so when you say easier to work, typically more responsive, Nathan, just as far as calling and that type of stuff? And I guess the reality, and I know Troy came out with a call for this, but how does calling in the rain affect your hunt? Because I got to imagine there's some calls that like your normal slate calls and some of that stuff that are not weatherproof probably are harder to get any sounds on
mouth call
because of the fact that you're not going to have any friction. But I know that Troy had a call that was going to be, I'm going to say weather resistant because I can't remember exactly, but it's a like 4-sided call. Like, so it's 2 basically pot calls put together. One side has 2 surfaces, flip it over. The other side has 2 more surfaces that way. Not necessarily, but easier to use the terrain to get in their bubble, run a diaphragm most of the time. So diaphragm is where it's at when it's in the rain. So there we go. That's what we got. And I know, So we said hi to Bob Carey, but Bob Carey, I was waiting for him to chime in. I know he was up with Mr. Rob Gagon and Mr. Dilly getting some trees cleaned up because it seems like weather as far as just like storms has kind of been kicking everybody's butt across the nation. I know up there, I think he goes, so that new call that I was telling you about from him says it'll run in the running water. So that's a pretty interesting. I mean, that's a pretty interesting concept, especially considering the fact that like sometimes you don't have a choice, right? Like you're just there. There's no cover. So Troy, that's pretty cool, man. So kudos to you for coming up with something like that and being able to get something like that. You just got to have the right friction call and strikers to run wet. Makes sense. It all comes down to physics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think as far as turkey rambling, we got some turkey rambling in tonight. And honestly, so like again, turkey stories, just like deer stories, are fun. And I think after this morning, as far as that goes, I mean, unless we get skunked or literally sprayed with a skunk, I mean, like Hunter is hook, line, and sinker now with the old turkeys, especially after that. So we'll see what happens if we can't get that kid a bird, and gotta try to get that to happen. See, so we gotta try to get everybody a bird. I mean, if you guys haven't been paying attention, I think right now. So again, I try not to post more than one. I'll call it hero post a day on Hunting RX's social media. But right now, I have hero posts scheduled to run through next Friday for people that have laid down birds currently as of today. So I mean, and it's been running pretty consistently as far as that goes. So it's pretty cool to see all the people laying down the flop. The old adage of can't stop the flop with the king of spring, giving some of those jokers a headache, as Nathan would say. But yeah, let's see here. Doug says, put a couple bush lattes in me and I'll tell you turkey stories for hours. Oh, well. Well, Dougie, maybe we'll have to do that, and we'll just have to record your stories and be like, do a podcast that's basically a rerun of stories from Doug Light and just play it out loud. But yeah, guys, we definitely appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate all that you do for us, and again, we couldn't do this without you. I know we sit here and have a little banter and have a little fun, but John, you know what though? This week, you got nobody that can take your roundup.
I'm telling you. You have to read anything. I've seen it like drop down
before. Troy says, I don't even need a drink. I'll tell you. So I'm assuming he's got plenty of stories. And then he goes, shoot, he don't need anything to drink to tell stories is what Nathan said.
Yeah.
So basically what they're saying is they're calling BS, Doug. You'll tell the stories. Troy's got stories. Doesn't even take no liquid courage to tell no stories. So what do you got? How you gonna end it?
Be safe out in the woods, right? I know most people, based on what I'm seeing, have already kind of tagged their birds and they're just traveling around and getting more birds laid down. But have fun, be safe out there, and don't forget to send your bird pictures in if you do get one, and we'll get it posted on social media.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep trying to get one.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have John's hero mug on there shortly, along with old T-Bone with his T-Rex pictures. But with that being said, guys, if you entered the contest, do not forget to send us your specs on your bird. So your weight, your spur length, your beard length. And if you even don't think that that's going to do that, make sure you're sending in those birds, because don't forget, we have the Top Turkey Slayer Award as well. So, Troy, I know you and Doug right now, and I think even Langston and Jimmy are probably the 3 or 4 that are running pretty close, because I think Dougie's got 3. I think Langston's right there close, and you said you got 3 and heading to Kansas. So y'all are going to have something for the running here for the good old Turkey Slayer Award, because I know y'all are in. So definitely appreciate y'all. if you haven't checked out the website, we have all our new apparel and new hats on there. Troy, I said that actually specific for you because I was thinking about that today. I see you shooting all them birds, taking all them birds, and then all of a sudden I was like, man, I haven't seen any specs on Troy's birds. So when I seen you on here, that was a nice, pleasant reminder. So make sure, send it in, because I think the current leader is at, you want to look that up quick before I sign them off?
I don't have access to it, or if I do, I don't know where the heck to find it.
Just on the Average Joe contest on the website, huntingrx.com, Average Joe contest. And then the leader, I believe, so the leader is Jimmy, but it's 38.94, I believe, because Jimmy's bird was 26.01 pounds, 1 5/16 spurs, and I forget what the beard comes out to be. But yeah, so I think it's 38.
Jimmy with a 26.01 pound bird, 10-inch beard length, 1 5/16 inch spur length, for a total score of 38.64. And then Kyle Thor's winning with a score of 35.95 with 23.7 pound bird, 10 7/8 beard, 1 inch, and then a 3/8 on the spur length.
There you go. So those are your leaders in both the adult and youth contests that are going to take home the belt at the end of the year. So again, don't forget about that. Make sure you check that out. But if you need anything, do not forget to hit us up on www.huntingrx.com. And until next time, we'll see y'all.
I'm always up on time, down on my luck. Got a brand new payment on an old, worn out truck. Papa told me back when I was 9, someday this farm, it'll be all mine. Now I walk these woods with kids of my own. It's been 12 years since Daddy done passed on. I'm shedding snow